Stop everything you are doing right now. Take a deep breath. Because what you are about to hear in the next few minutes is not just another random video in your feed. You have spent your entire life asking, begging, pleading, and nothing happened. And do you know why? Because you forgot the main secret. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you feel you already are. And today, this very day, something within you must die so that something else may be born. I need you to understand one thing before anything else. The universe, God, the infinite consciousness, does not respond to your words. It responds to your state, and your current state is exactly what you have been harvesting. If your life is stuck, if the money does not come, if love does not arrive, if healing does not happen, it is not because God has forgotten you. It is because you are inhabiting the wrong state. And this is the revelation that will change everything. There is an ancient technique, taught by masters like Neville Goddard and Joseph Murphy, that will teach you to occupy the state of the wish already fulfilled. And when you master this, your external reality will have no choice but to bow before your internal state. But I must warn you of something. There is a silent error, a common mistake that 90% of people make, which completely nullifies any manifestation. And I will reveal this error to you in this very video. But first, I need you to understand the root of the problem. Your subconscious mind, that deep part that operates 24 hours a day, is running an old program. A program of lack, a program of scarcity, a program that says, I am not worthy, I am not enough, I will always struggle, no one in my family has succeeded, money is hard, true love does not exist for me. And as long as this program is running in your subconscious, you can repeat affirmations all day long, you can hang vision boards on the wall, you can pray on your knees every night, and nothing will change. Because your conscious mind wants one thing, but your inner I am is affirming another. And what prevails is always the I am, always. Neville Goddard taught this with impressive clarity. The I am is the name of God within you. Everything that comes after the words I am is a creation. When you say I am tired, I am poor, I am sick, I am abandoned, I am forgotten, you are literally creating that reality. Because the I am is the creative power. It is the fourth dimension molding itself to the sound of your own internal declaration. And most people, without realizing it, spend the entire day decreeing against themselves, in the shower, in traffic, doing the dishes before falling asleep. That repetitive internal dialogue, that silent conversation you have with yourself, is exactly the mold of your next week, your next month, your next year. And you have not noticed it until now. But there is a way to reverse this. There is a way to take this creative power back and reprogram everything. And that is exactly what we are going to talk about now. Because feeling and not thought is the true secret. And here is something you may have never heard before. Modern science, especially the studies from the HeartMath Institute, has discovered that the human heart generates an electromagnetic field 5,000 times stronger than that of the brain. 5,000 times. And this electromagnetic field expands throughout your body, reaches the environment around you, and literally influences matter. When you truly feel, in your chest, the joy of something that has not yet physically happened, you are sending an energetic signature to the quantum field. And the quantum field, that invisible substance that forms everything that exists, responds to this frequency. It reorganizes itself. It draws people, opens doors, creates circumstances. Not because it is magic, but because it is law. The law of assumption. You assume the feeling of already having it, and the external world rearranges itself to match this internal feeling. But pay attention, and this is fundamental. It is not about thinking of what you want. It is about feeling as if you already have it. It is the difference between desiring and possessing. Those who desire feel lack. Those who possess feel gratitude. And gratitude is the frequency of possession. That is why so many Brazilians are trapped. They wake up thinking about their bills, they drive thinking about their debts, they lie down thinking about their overdue rent. And then they ask for prosperity. But to ask is to declare lack. You must stop asking and start giving thanks for what has not yet come, as if it were already in your hands. This is why I have prepared a powerful digital book for you. If you felt a shiver just now, if something tightened inside your chest while I was speaking, that is not a coincidence. There is a difference between those who watch a video and those who are summoned by it. And I feel with all my heart that you have been led here. Perhaps it was that silent ache in the early hours of the morning, that feeling that something is about to change, but you still cannot name it. Many see, but very few understand what is being delivered. There is a deeper spiritual layer acting in your life at this very moment, and you have a sacred responsibility to protect your family, to restore your home, to break the cycle that has held back the last generations. The book is titled, How to Know If God Will Save You on Judgment Day, and the link is pinned in the description and also at the top of the comments. Ordinary people, tired mothers, indebted fathers, widows, lost youth, have reported that upon applying what is in this material, they saw real changes within 7 days. Marriages restored, jobs appearing out of nowhere, inexplicable healings. And I need to warn you with all the honesty of my heart, this content may be removed at any moment because of the impact it has been causing. If you are feeling the call right now, do not delay. Write Amen in the comments if you recognize that God is speaking to you at this instant. Now listen to me with your full attention, for what follows is the master key. The law of assumption, taught by Neville Goddard, states the following: assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and it shall manifest. It is that simple. But simple does not mean easy, because to assume this feeling you must cross an invisible bridge. Neville called this the bridge of incidents. Between the state you are in today and the state of the fulfilled desire, there exists a sequence of events, of people, of opportunities, of apparent coincidences that the universe must construct to deliver that to you. And this bridge only begins to be built when you truly inhabit the final state. Look closely. The final state is that moment in which everything has already happened. You are already with the person you love. You already have the money. You have already received the healing. You are already in the new home. And in this final state, what do you feel? Relief, gratitude, peace, naturalness. It is as if it were already yours for so long that you are no longer even impressed by it. This is the feeling you must cultivate now, before any physical evidence appears, because the evidence is a consequence, not a cause. The cause is your state of consciousness, and the state of consciousness is formed in the inner dialogue, that continuous conversation you have with yourself. If you want a new job, stop asking yourself how you will pay the bills. Begin to converse internally as someone who is already employed, grateful, fulfilled. If you want love, stop lamenting the loneliness. Converse internally as someone who is already being loved, cared for, valued. This dialogue is the seed, and the soil, the subconscious, always returns the exact harvest of the seed planted. And now the moment has arrived for me to reveal the fatal error that annuls every manifestation. Pay close attention. The error is this: most people oscillate. They wake up motivated. They make affirmations in the morning, but during the day, at the first sign of a problem, they return to the old dialogue of fear, lack, and despair. And this oscillation destroys the frequency. It is as if you planted a seed and dug it up every hour to see if it had grown yet. The seed never germinates. Persistence in the feeling is what separates those who manifest from those who spend their entire lives talking about manifestation. You must remain faithful to the state, even when the outer world screams the opposite, even when the bill arrives, even when the phone does not ring, even when the medical exam is frightening, because the outer world is the echo of the old state. It is the reflection of that which you have already planted in the past. But your current state now is planting the future. And here the fourth dimension enters. Neville taught that there exists a dimension where time is not linear, where past, present, and future coexist. And when you imagine yourself vividly in the state of the fulfilled desire, with all your senses, feeling the texture, hearing the voices, seeing the colors, smelling the scent, you are literally visiting that future. And by visiting it with feeling, you anchor it. You pull it into the linear dimension of time. That is why people who learn this are able to reverse situations that seemed impossible, diagnoses that changed, relationships that returned, debts that dissolved. It was not luck, it was law. It was law being applied with consciousness. And there is a sacred moment of the day when this law operates with 100 times more force, the moment before sleep. The ancient masters knew this. Joseph Murphy wrote pages and pages about it. When you are in that state between wakefulness and sleep, in that region that scientists call alpha and theta waves, your subconscious is completely open. The critical barriers of the conscious mind are turned off, and any scene, any feeling, any affirmation you implant at this moment goes straight into the fertile soil of the subconscious. And the subconscious, without questioning, begins to work to make it real. That is why I tell you, never ever sleep complaining, never sleep in fear, never sleep mentally reviewing what went wrong in the day, because all of that becomes a seed, and you will reap it in the coming weeks without understanding why. Instead, do the following exercise. Before sleeping, close your eyes and build a short scene. It does not need to be long, just a scene that implies that your desire has already been fulfilled. It could be a hug from someone congratulating you. It could be you looking at your bank balance with gratitude. It could be you holding the hand of your loved one. It could be your healthy child smiling. Feel this scene. Repeat it until you fall asleep. And do this every night without fail. In a few weeks, your external world will begin to shift to match this scene. This is law, this is science, this is spirituality, and this works. But I feel right now that there is something stirring within you. Perhaps you have tears in your eyes, perhaps you have that lump in your throat, perhaps you are feeling a strange warmth in your chest. And I need to tell you with complete clarity, this is your soul recognizing the truth. It is your spirit waking up after years of sleeping under the weight of routine, bills, betrayals, and disappointments. You were born for more, and deep down, even on the darkest days, you have always known this. The thing is, no one taught you how to access it. No one taught you that the door has always been inside of you, and that the key is feeling. That is why I have prepared a powerful digital book for you. This material was built for those who can no longer bear to ask, beg, or wait. For those who are ready to ascend the inner throne and govern their own reality through the law of assumption. The book is titled, How to Know If God Will Save You on Judgment Day. And the link is pinned in the description and also at the top of the comments. Do not leave it for later. Some doors close silently when ignored. Write I am in the comments if you are ready to claim your life back. Now let us descend deeper. Let us speak of something practical. Imagine Maria, a 48-year-old Brazilian woman living here in the countryside, married for 25 years, who watched her husband slowly drift away. The bills were piling up, the silence at home was growing, and her youngest son had chosen a path that broke her heart. Maria prayed. She prayed a lot. But Maria also repeated in silence every single day, "My life is a failure. No one values me. I will die without seeing this improve." And her subconscious, faithful and obedient, reflected exactly that back to her. Until one day she learned the law, and she began before falling asleep to construct a short scene, the scene of her husband sitting next to her in the kitchen, holding her hand, laughing at something silly, and her son walking through the door, happy. Just that. 30 seconds. But with real feeling, with that pleasant tightness in her chest. And she persisted. She persisted even when her husband fought with her the next day. She persisted even when her son disappeared for 2 days. She persisted because she understood that the external world was the echo of her old state, and that the new state needed time to build the bridge of incidents. 3 months later, without her forcing anything, her husband began seeking her out for long conversations. 6 months later, her son returned in tears asking for forgiveness. It was not magic, it was law, and this law is available to you today, now, at this very moment as you listen to my voice. And perhaps you are thinking, but how do I feel something that does not yet exist? That is the golden question, and the answer is, you are already doing this all the time, only in reverse. When you imagine that something bad is going to happen, and your chest tightens, your stomach turns, you break into a cold sweat, you are feeling something that does not yet exist. Fear is inverted faith. Fear is the law of assumption being used against you, so the ability is already within you. It just needs to be redirected. Instead of imagining the worst, train yourself to imagine the best with the same intensity. Instead of anticipating tragedy, anticipate the blessing. Instead of mentally rehearsing the argument, mentally rehearse the embrace. Instead of imagining the bill coming due, imagine your balance growing. Imagine it with color, with sound, with scent, with touch, and feel it. Feel it in your body, because the subconscious does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. To it, if you feel it, it is real, and if it is real, it organizes the external world to match. This is the fourth dimension operating. This is the state of consciousness materializing. And those who learn this are never the same again. They never again accept being victims of circumstances, because they understand that circumstances are servants, and consciousness is the queen. And pay close attention to this point, for here lies the subtlety that changes everything. Persistence is not mechanical repetition. Persistence is fidelity to the state, even in the absence of evidence. You are not making an affirmation to convince God. God already knows you are making an affirmation to convince yourself, so that your internal system recognizes that reality as yours. And when the internal system recognizes it, the external bows. Without struggle, without despair, without begging, the right people appear. The calls come. The ideas arrive at dawn. The doors open. And you look back and realize nothing happened by chance. Everything was conducted from my state. And that is exactly where your true power begins to awaken, because you stop begging and start reigning. You stop being the beggar and start being the heir. You stop asking for crumbs and start taking possession of the banquet that has always been yours by divine right. And in that moment, your life changes permanently. It is not a temporary improvement. It is a new foundation. It is a new I am. And I feel that you need to hear this right now, deep within your soul. Everything that has happened in your life until today, all the pain, all the losses, all the humiliations, all the closed doors, were not in vain. They were refinements. They were the way consciousness prepared you for this exact moment in which you are awakening. You did not arrive here by chance. There is a purpose behind this internal summons you are feeling, and you have a spiritual responsibility to protect your family, to restore what was stolen, to break the chains that have bound the last generations of your lineage. That is why I have prepared this powerful digital book for you. It is not just any book. It is a map, a detailed guide for those who are ready to move out of the position of victim and assume the seat of creator. How to know if God will save you on Judgment Day has its link pinned in the description and at the top of the comments. Hundreds of people, Brazilians just like you, have already written to me reporting that they applied what they learned and in a few days saw debts dissolve, relationships return, illnesses regress, and opportunities appear out of nowhere. And I ask you with all seriousness, do not ignore this call. This content, this video, this moment may be taken down at any time. Those who were summoned for a reason. Write, "I am ready" in the comments if your soul has already decided to break free. Now let us speak of something that few teachers teach, but which is absolutely vital. The revision. The technique of nightly revision was one of the greatest gifts that Neville Goddard left for humanity. It works like this. Before sleeping, you review your day. But not in the way it actually happened. You review it in the way you wish it had happened. That argument with your husband in the morning? Revise it. Imagine the two of you talking calmly, laughing, embracing. That annoying situation at work? Revise it. Imagine your boss praising you, giving you a promotion. That bill you could not pay, revise it. Imagine yourself paying everything with peace of mind, and feel how it would have been. Why does this work? Because the subconscious does not work in a straight line, it works in layers. Each scene revised with feeling becomes a new seed in the field of the fourth dimension. And these seeds begin to rewrite the near future. You can literally reverse a sequence of negative events just by revising the past mentally with feeling before sleeping. People who practice this for 30 consecutive days report bizarre changes. People they fought with apologize out of nowhere. Situations that seemed irreversible unravel, because you are literally changing the root cause there in the fourth dimension, and the effect in the third dimension is merely a consequence. And listen closely. Your current life, exactly as it is the exact sum of the states you inhabited in the past. It is not punishment. It is not luck. It is not divine injustice. It is harvest. And the best news I can give you is this. If your current state produced this life, a new state will produce a new life. And you have the power to change the state now, not tomorrow, not on Monday, now. The moment you finish watching this video, you can choose who you will be from here on out. You can decide from today I am prosperous, I am loved, I am healed, I am guided, I am blessed. And when you assume this, I am, with faithfulness, with persistence, with feeling, the universe reorganizes everything, everything. People leave your path, others enter. Old jobs end to make room for new ones. Toxic relationships break apart to make room for true ones. Illnesses regress, addictions dissolve, because your new frequency no longer matches the old structure. And the structure always bows to the frequency. Always, this is the law. And there is a detail that must be stated with absolute clarity. You do not need to know how it will happen. You do not need to map out the path. That is not your job. Your job is only to inhabit the final state, to feel, to persist. The how is the responsibility of the infinite intelligence that governs the universe, and that intelligence has 1,000 paths that you cannot even imagine. When you try to force the how, you are telling the universe that your limited mind knows more than the cosmic mind. And then you block it. You close doors that were already opening. Therefore, let go, surrender the how, maintain only the feeling, and observe the incidents beginning to appear. A person you haven't seen in years calls you out of the blue. A book falls into your hands. An idea arises in the shower. A vacancy opens at a company you had not even considered. All of this is the bridge of incidents being built before your very eyes. And each incident is a confirmation that your state is being accepted by reality. These are the signs. And the more you trust, the more signs appear. The more you doubt, the longer the bridge takes. And here is an important warning, especially for you who are tired of trying. Do not demand perfection of yourself. The law does not require perfection. It requires dominant direction. If during the day you fall into fear, it is all right. Rise. Return to the state. Renew the feeling. What matters is not never falling, but always returning. And the more you practice, the less you fall. Because the new state begins to become your natural home, your default vibration. And then, without effort, your life begins to transform into something you once did not even dare to dream of. And the funny thing is that when this transformation happens, you ask yourself, how did I live for so long without knowing this? How did I accept so little for so long? But do not blame yourself. You did not know. Now you know. And from the moment you know, the responsibility is entirely yours. You can no longer go back to pretending that you do not know. Consciousness, once expanded, does not return to its previous size. This is a blessing and also a requirement. Those who receive more are held to more. And I want you to understand one last thing before I close this call. There is a difference between wishing to change and deciding to change. A wish is weak. A decision is definitive. And today, this video, this moment, is a watershed. Either you leave here the same as you entered, and your life continues exactly as it is, with the same conflicts, the same lacks, the same frustrations, or you decide, with all your soul, that from this exact second, you are a new person. You inhabit a new state. You speak a new I am. You behave as one who already has, and the universe by law cannot deny you. Liking this video and subscribing to this channel is not a common gesture. It is a decree of acceptance. It is your I am affirming, yes, I receive this wisdom. I accept this new reality. I commit to my transformation. Do this now, not tomorrow. Now. Because every conscious gesture is a brick in the construction of your new life, and you are building now, even without realizing it. And to close with all the strength that this message deserves, I must tell you with my heart in my hands, you did not arrive here at the end of this video by chance. There is a greater tapestry weaving your every step. And this calling you are feeling now, this shiver, this tear, this inner certainty, is the confirmation that you have been chosen for a different life. But choice demands a response, and response demands action. That is why I have prepared a powerful digital book for you. How to Know If God Will Save You at the Final Judgment is the material that will deepen everything you have heard today, with daily practices, nightly exercises, review techniques, and the complete structure of the law of assumption applied to the real life of the common person. The link is pinned in the description and at the top of the comments. Click now. Do not procrastinate. Each day that passes dwelling in the old state is a harvest you will not want, and each day dwelling in the new state is a seed that will flourish into things you cannot yet imagine. Write "I am that I am" in the comments, leave your like as a decree of acceptance, and subscribe to the channel to continue this journey of awakening. Because your next chapter is already written in the fourth dimension, you only need to occupy the state, to pull it into the here and now. And I, with all the faith of my being, declare over you now, so be it. And so it is.